If your surname is on this list, you need to hear this before you scroll past it, because you are not just Scottish by heritage, you are the reason a king, a rival clan, or an entire empire failed to erase a family. 10 names. 10 stories nobody wrote down for you, because the people who lived them were too busy staying alive. Stay until number 1, because that name carries a secret one estate tried to burn away in a single year and couldn't. These aren't old stories, they're still sitting in your name. Number 10. McGregor. Son of Gregor, claimed by tradition as royal Scots blood. By 1603, carrying that name as a death sentence instead. At Glen Fruin, the McGregors cut down a Colquhoun force sent against them, over 100 dead in an afternoon. Weeks later, King James VI outlaws the name itself, on pain of death. McGregors survived under borrowed names for generations, teaching their children the real one only at home. When the ban lifted, the name didn't return like something rescued. It returned like something that never left. Some names spent a lifetime being hunted. The next one built an empire off the hunting. Number 9. Campbell. In Gaelic, Campbell, crooked mouth, a nickname that grew into the most powerful family name in the Highlands. By the 1600s, Campbells hold more land than almost any clan in Scotland, much of it won through paperwork. In 1692, soldiers slaughtered the Macdonalds of Glencoe in their beds under government order, and popular memory blames the Campbells for it. Left out, the order came from Edinburgh and London, and of 120 soldiers involved, barely a dozen were actually Campbells. Scotland needed a villain, and this name stood closest to the blood. The name blamed for Glencoe isn't the only one carrying its weight. Number 8. Macdonald. Son of Donald, descended from the Lords of the Isles, once rulers of the Hebrides. By 1692, one small branch is reduced to a single glen, and a chief days late to an oath that wouldn't have saved him anyway. For 2 weeks, soldiers eat under Macdonald roofs, the oldest law in the Highlands. Then at 5 in the morning, they turn on the people who fed them. Everyone under 70, the order says, put to the sword. 38 die outright. Dozens more die in the snow, trying to run. The name endures as one of the most common Highland surnames on earth. Glencoe wasn't a clan feud. It was betrayal with a royal signature. Number 7. MacLeod. Son of Leod, tied by legend to Norse kings of the Isle of Man. Skye's clan, holders of Dunvegan Castle longer than most European monarchies have existed. In May of 1578, Macdonald raiders land at Waternish on a Sunday morning while local MacLeods worship inside Trumpan Church. The raiders bar the doors and set the roof alight. Almost no one escapes. One girl, badly burned, slips through a window to raise the alarm. What she doesn't know, the year before, it was MacLeods who suffocated hundreds of Macdonalds inside a cave on Eigg. MacLeod reinforcements arrive fast, and every raider dies before reaching his boat. Revenge in the Highlands rarely ended where it started. If a name this recognizable can still be hiding a story like Trumpan's, imagine what's still waiting. Number 1 is the one I promise you won't see coming. Hit like, subscribe, and let's keep going. Number 6. Gunn. A Norse name meaning something close to war, rooted in Caithness before the clan system most people picture existed. Around 1464, the Gunn chief and his sons go to a chapel to make peace with Clan Keith, 12 men aside by agreement. The Keiths bring 24. The Gunns die at prayer. A century later, 2 of the North's most powerful earls quietly agree the whole clan should stop existing and nearly manage it. 2 centuries later, the same territory gets cleared for sheep, and Kildonin's tenants stage the Highlands' first organized resistance to eviction and lose anyway. Most ended up in Canada, New Zealand, Australia. Some names survived their neighbors only to be cleared by their own landlords later. And the greatest danger to a name isn't always a rival clan or even England. Number 5. Douglas. Ardglass in the Old Gaelic, dark water, named for a stream in Lanarkshire. By the 1400s, the Black Douglases owned more land than almost anyone in Scotland. Not the English. Their own king brought them down. In 1440, a 16-year-old earl and his brother are served a black bull's head at dinner, a death sentence in itself, and executed within the hour. 12 years later, James II invites the 8th Earl to Stirling Castle under safe conduct and stabs him to death himself, 26 times. 3 years later, the family that once made kings is destroyed at Arkenholm, its land seized by the throne it had propped up. Loyalty to the wrong king could be just as fatal as loyalty to the right one. Number 4. Cameron. Lochaber's fiercest fighting name, its chief never called anything but Lochiel. In August of 1745, Donald Cameron of Lochiel is planting beech trees at Achnacarry when word comes a prince has landed to claim a throne. He leaves the saplings half-planted and brings hundreds of men to Glenfinnan, turning a doomed landing into an actual rising. The Camerons fight the front line at Culloden. Within weeks, troops burn Achnacarry to the ground. Lochiel's brother, a doctor, hides for 7 years before soldiers catch him, the last Jacobite ever executed by hanging, drawing, and quartering. Loyalty to the Stuarts cost this family everything it had. It cost another clan chief something even more public. Number 3. Fraser of the Aird, a Norman name that became one of the most storied in the Highlands. In 1544, the Frasers march home through marshlands so hot, both sides fight in their shirts, the Battle of the Shirts. The chief and his heir are killed. As few as 5 Fraser men reportedly walk away. 2 centuries later, the aging old fox sends his own son to Culloden while hedging his own loyalty. It doesn't save him. Soldiers drag him from a hollow tree and carry him to trial on a litter. He's beheaded at Tower Hill in 1747, the last judicial beheading in British history, as a packed stand collapses beneath the crowd. Some chiefs died in public, others died quietly, beside their own men. Number 2. Chisholm, a small name out of Strathglass, whose chief alone carried a title so rare, only 2 other people on earth traditionally held one like it. At Culloden, young chief Roderick Og Chisholm leads roughly 80 of his own men into the government guns and dies alongside nearly a third of them. On the other side of that same field, 2 of his own brothers wear government red. Afterward, 3 men named Chisholm helped hide the fugitive prince, and one vowed never to shake another hand again after shaking his. This clan didn't just lose a battle, it lost itself quietly from the inside. The deepest cost of all wasn't decided on a battlefield picked by kings. It was decided by fire, in ordinary homes. Number 1. Mackay. Son of Hugh, tied to a stretch of Sutherland so completely theirs it was simply called Mackay country. In 1814, a factor named Patrick Seller starts clearing tenants out of Strathnaver, and his men burn the roofs so no one can return. One elderly tenant, too ill to move, is pulled out only after the blankets covering her catch fire. She dies of her burns days later. Close to 2,000 people are cleared from the valley that year alone. Families boarded an overcrowded ship, quicklime still in its hold, and crossed to Nova Scotia with nothing but the name they carried aboard. The valley still bears that name. Almost none of the people who earned it still live there. Every name on this list survived something built to end it: a law, a fire, a blade, or a king's own hand. The clans are gone now. The kingdoms that fought over them are gone too. But somewhere tonight, someone with one of these names sits at a kitchen table, laptop open, typing a cleared valley's name into a search bar for the first time. Strathnaver, or Kildonan, or Glencoe. Beside an old photograph with a name on the back no one left alive can fully read. If your surname is on this list, that name was never just paperwork. It was a decision somebody made to survive and hand forward to you. So tell me, is your name on this list? Drop your surname in the comments below, and let me know which one felt closest to your own family's story. I read every one, and I want to know exactly what you're carrying.